Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight with volunteering and the benefits of volunteering. I mean, who knew? My name is Deb Peterman. I'm with the Center for Disability Empowerment, and I will be referring to a PowerPoint, but at this time, I thought I would tell you what volunteering means to me. I was raised by a mother who felt it was very important that my sister and I learn how to volunteer in whatever capacity that was, appropriate for our age and, the type of work. And of course, maybe as I got older, I mumbled a little bit and grumbled about it. But looking back, I'm very grateful that I was put into situations that encouraged me to learn how to socialize, how to learn to work as a team, maybe to learn some work-related skills. Um, Not that I would have understood that, but now looking back, I'm very grateful for that. I think it's unfortunate that our world does not place big um, a big thank you to all volunteers. There's not there's people that think that, oh, if you're doing a job, you must get paid for it. And um, I'm going to challenge that because with volunteering, we've become more skilled at working with the community. And who knows, along the way, there may be someone who would want to hire us to work with the organization that we're working with. So the Action Club tonight is a new group to me, but I'm very excited to share this opportunity to learn more about what they do, and we'll take it from there. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I hope this will come out right. And can you guys nod your head to tell me if you see what's on the screen? Okay, thank you. Okay. So tonight's event is called The Power of Volunteering, Who Knew? Again, my name is Deb Peterman. I'm with the Center for Disability Empowerment. We are going to be honoring two people who are part of the Ohio Aktion Club. First, I want to tell you about the Center for Disability Empowerment. There are 12 of us in Ohio. We are national and we work independently from each other, but we are required to offer core services. But first, the Center for Disability Empowerment is a 501c3 non-residential center for independent living that is driven by choice and direction of people with disabilities. We serve Franklin, Union, Delaware, and Licking County in Ohio. Here's my, oh, it doesn't want to go down. Okay. Our mission at CDE is to provide supports and resources for people with disabilities in order for them to be participants and contributors in their communities as they live, learn, worship, work, and play alongside people who do not have disabilities. We serve all people, all ages, all disabilities. I mentioned five core services. We are federally mandated to serve at least five. As you see, I have 8 listed here. We offer information and referral. If we don't know, we find out. We offer independent living skills training and community connections. People want to learn how to create a simple resume, or they want to get connected to a certain class and don't know where to start. This is how we could come alongside and help them learn how to do that process. We offer systems and self-advocacy, and we have transition services. That includes transitions from nursing homes in the community, help people get out of nursing homes that may feel stuck there because they've lost their apartment, they've lost their home, and they need to find an accessible place to live. We also offer youth transition services So transition in high school starts at age 14, and this group goes up to age 24. We currently have a youth empowered youth group that meets once a month at multiple locations in a library in Columbus. We have an employment specialist. We don't work directly with OOD, Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities, primarily because there's such a lot of hoops to jump through. We basically sit down with a person and say, what kind of work are you looking for? Or how we can encourage them to prepare for the job that they want to get. We also have housing services to find accessible housing. It's quite a task these days to find accessible housing, but we have 2 specialists that work on that. And we have a healthcare outreach coordinator who's familiar with Medicaid, Medicare, the different waivers in Ohio. So as you can see, we have a group of people who all specialize in an area but work together for people with disabilities. So tonight I want to introduce 2 special people. I met Dick Brulot, the Ohio District Kiwanis Action Club District Administrator, and Amy Flanagan is the president of Tri-Village Action Club. So I'm going to probably introduce Dick first. And let's see, with my slide move. Could be one of those nights, right? I'm looking at Dick's face. I can see him smiling. Okay. All right. So Dick, what I want to do is ask you first to tell us a little bit about you, how you got involved with Action. I know that you said at one time you were a librarian, and I'd love for people to learn about your journey and how you got connected to be the position that you're in right now. And then I'll let you take it from there.
Thank you, Deborah. Good evening, everybody. My name is Dick Brulot, and I was born and raised in Massachusetts, so I'm a Bay Stater, not a Buckeye. And when I got my master's degree back in 1976, I ended up getting a job in Delaware, Ohio. So I was a school library media specialist. And so I worked in libraries, worked with audiovisual equipment. By the time I retired, I had a TV studio and a multimedia lab. But I did all sorts of things because if something came up that they needed a volunteer for, I never learned how to say no. So in school, if somebody needed a new group and they needed somebody to advise the group, I would probably raise my hand and become the new advisor. So that's where I got used to volunteering. Now I've been in Kiwanis almost 30 years, and the last 10 years I've been involved with Action Club. But in the meantime, I have been very much involved with different groups that work with young people. So Kiwanis is the only international organization with a program that has service opportunities for all ages. For instance, there's a group called Kiwanis Kids for elementary school. There's a group called Builders Club for middle school. In high school, we call them Key Club. In college and universities, there's Circle K. And our newest group is Action Club. It was first started in Florida as a district experiment back in 1987. And since 2000, it has been an official service leadership program of Kiwanis International. Now, it's the only service club for adults that have disabilities, and it's all kinds of disabilities across the board. Action Club is actually found in 15 different nations, and we have about 10,000 members worldwide. So there's quite a few people out there with all different types of disabilities doing all different types of community service. In Ohio, we have 36 clubs, and we have a total of 660 members. As a matter of fact, our district for Kiwanis is the largest as far as Action Club goes. We have the most clubs, we have the most members. And it's the best group that I've ever worked with. And I have been administrator for 4 years. I was the Action Club advisor for our Kiwanis Club. But this is now starting my 6th year, and I have been administrator for all of our action clubs. So I work with all 36 clubs, travel all over the state, and I interact with Kiwanis International. I interact with the Ohio District of Kiwanis, and I work with every single club. So I try to visit clubs as much as I can, and I get information out as needed to the clubs. So that's probably it. If you want to go to the next slide, Deborah. What is Action Club really about? Well, it is a club that has different purposes. For one thing, you get a whole bunch of friends by joining an action club. You also get a chance to build advocacy skills. You get a chance to do all sorts of different things. It's not just community service, it's fun. You get to do things as a group. My action clubs are very social. They like to do bowling parties. They like to go to movies. I have one action club that actually meets 4 times a month. The great thing about Action Club is that the members run the club. It's not other adults like our Kiwanis advisor or our advisor from a facility. We elect officers, and members of the club fill the offices of president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So all the decisions are made by the club. The president runs everything, and the club decides how many times a month they're going to meet. They decide when and where they're meeting, and they decide what projects they would like to do. One thing in Kiwanis, we try to change and improve the world one community and one child at a time. So we're focused on community service projects and projects dealing with children. So that is really, really an important thing. And it's one of the few groups that is actually run by the members. Deborah, if you want to go to the next slide, please. Okay, if you want to become an Action Club member, there's all sorts of different things that you're going to benefit by it. So keep that in mind. You're going to have all sorts of opportunities. For instance, we talked about socialization with friends. You find friends in an action club, and when you go out and do service projects, you find friends out in the community. We help train you to be an officer. We help get your organization skills built up. We help you with decision making, and we give you self-confidence, which is really an important thing. That's why so many of our Action Club members are well known in their communities because they go out, they plan what they're going to do, and they get involved. You also learn how to work with others and in teams. And that's one of the biggest skills that I find that our Action Club members have to learn. Because you have to, since you might be an officer, you have to help run the meetings to meet everybody's needs. And you ask them, what kind of service projects. So everybody contributes to decisions that the Action Club makes. So that's a real important thing. One of the things I like to do to build self-confidence and self-worth is have a theme every year. And I usually give them challenge projects. For instance, several years ago, we did a birthday in the bag project where Action Club members with their Kiwanis Club members collected things that you would need for a birthday party, mainly because we identified that many families can't afford to buy even a basic box of birthday of cake mix for a birthday party or something like that. So actually our Kiwanis group and our action clubs put together birthday bags with a box of cake mix, with a container of frosting, 9 by 13 pan, aluminum pan to make the cake, and anything else. You could have the basic kit, or you could go all out and get um, decorations. You can get candles. You can get hats. You can get party favors, a little bit of everything. Some groups decorated their bags, and part of the whole process was to reach out to a different food pantry and find one that would like to have these bags to hand out to their clients. So that's all part of the planning that our Action Club members do. Uh, Deb, if you want to go to community service, I'll tell you, it gets you out in the community, so people get to see what a disabled person can actually accomplish. We're trying to get the communities to understand that just because somebody has a disability, that they are definitely capable of doing all sorts of fun things and worthy things for volunteering. And it also gets you out in the community so that you experience all different kinds of people. Um, minorities and all ages and stuff like that. So I find that community service puts a smile on your face for one thing, and that helps with your mental outlook and makes you feel good. And it's one of the big reasons why I like to encourage people to do volunteer work. Deb, if you want to go to the next one, please. Okay. How can somebody join an action club? Now, we were talking about our transition program. I am working with a brand new Kiwanis club and a local high school in the Dayton area to try to build an action club at the high school because they have a very large transition program. Now, the one thing about Action Club, you have to be 18 and up to join. So their thought is, because they have a lot of students in the transition program, that they could start at the age of 18 in the action club located at the high school, and that would help them to learn some skills to get jobs and to get better prepared to assume your role in the community outside of high school. Now, in Ohio, the transition program starts as early as 14. And what we found at this particular high school, there is a Key Club. And Key Club is for high school age students. So, 14 to 18 typically is high school age. So anybody from 14 to 18, because 18 is the first age you can be to join an action club. So anybody from 14, 15, 16, or 17 could join a Key Club. And in Key Club, you do the same types of things that you do in Action Club. So, it's very similar. You do service projects, you learn leadership skills. It's just on a younger group. So, and then at this transition program, once you hit 18, you could join an action club. And if you were in a school that didn't have a transition program, you could find an action club anywhere in the community, because they can be located at a county board office, an independent provider. A YMCA could have an action club. You have churches have action clubs. And again, we'll talk in a little bit about some of the action clubs at the end of our session that you can access in Central Ohio. Okay, Deb, I think
I have one question.
yes.
So I have been working with Columbus City Schools transition coordinators. We actually got them trained with charting the life course. And
Mhm.
I bet they would love to hear what you're doing in Dayton. So
Okay.
I'd like to
Is
be part of
is
your,
Maddie one of those people?
who?
Maddie?
Mm, no,
Okay.
I mean, he or she may be, I just don't know them, but
I have a meeting scheduled on the 18th at Reynoldsburg
okay.
with a group.
Oh, yeah, that they have a new special ed
Youth
director.
Empowerment Group,
There you
yes.
go. Yeah, so thank you. I just wanted to chime that in.
No, and I'm willing to meet with any transition groups, so Uh, but the one nice thing is, if you join an action club, you're going to make lots of new friends. You're going to actually be doing community service, so you're going to be making yourself self-confident, and you're going to be making your community and the world a better place. So I can encourage you to join a volunteer group. And if you're thinking at somewhere down the road of getting employment, one of the things you put on an application is that you were in Action Club, because a lot of these employers really like to see that you've done volunteer opportunities. So it's a good way to get a job.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to Amy Flanagan. And I did put some questions on the side here, but Amy, I would love for you to share about yourself, how you got connected with Action Club, where you were at one place, and how Tri-Village Action Club came to be. So it's all yours.
All right, thank you. Before I answer these questions, I'd also like to introduce Miss Samantha Perry. She's another member of Tri Village Action Club. Hi, Sam. Mhm. All right, so how did I get started with that? Hi, Sam. So I got started with Action Club. It, when I first got started, it wasn't with the Tri Village Action Club. It was with the Action Club, Kiwanis Action Club of Franklin County in Ohio, and they were sponsored by the Hilltop Columbus Kiwanis. They had been an action club for about 8 years when I joined in summer of 2019. And they had already done a lot of service projects and fundraisers. They'd had a lot of guest speakers and so on. And after the COVID pandemic in 2020, it was hard to get that momentum back. And after in my opinion, a key advisor retired from her job and therefore also retired from Action Club. It w- a lot of us decided to make the transition over to the Tri Village Action Club, which was in the process of being formed. So it so the
So,
Tri Village. Oh yeah, sorry.
no, go ahead. Okay.
The Tri Village Action Club was kind of the pet, not the pet project, but it was a major goal for the Northwest Columbus, the Kiwanis Club of Northwest Columbus, otherwise known as the Northwest Kiwanis. And they had reached out to the Hilltop Columbus Kiwanis a few times, along with our previous action club, and advice on how to form an action club. They also reached out to Dick Brulot too. And so they were already on our radar as a potential future club to do service projects and fundraisers with. And because we already knew it was going to be formed sooner or later, a lot of us made the transition to just go join that one once our previous club folded. It's called Tri Village because it was found by the Northwest Columbus Kiwanis, and that's mainly the Tri Village area consisting of Upper Arlington, Marble Cliffs, and Grandview Heights, suburbs of Columbus. Those three suburbs are called the Tri Village area. Um, what do I do as president? My main job is to run the meeting. So I call the meeting to order, go over the business, a decent amount of moderating. We have some people who can get off topic, so it's important to, while I want to nurture, not, while I want to make sure they're being heard, there's a lot of off-topic discussion, so it's important to remain on the topic of service projects, fundraising, whatever Action Club needs to talk about during meetings. I also send reminder emails to our members, our whoever's hosting our meeting location on the given Friday, advisors. A lot of people are CC'd on the emails. So I do that, and I also work with advisors, in the event that there's something I need, like information about a change in meeting location. For example, we're going to be moving our Upper Arlington meetings from the senior center to the community center whenever the new Upper Arlington Recreation Community Center opens. Oh yeah. How is our group supported? Northwest Columbus has offered a lot of support. Northwest Kiwanis. Since we have only been an official Action Club for about 6 months, when an Action Club starting out, we do get a lot of support from our sponsoring Kiwanis Club, and our goal is, as we become more established, they kind of just fade into the background and mainly support us like through funding of things that not all that fundraisers alone wouldn't cover.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Um,
Deb.
Oh dear, we're not sure if we're recording this or not. Oh my goodness. Anyway,
Mine says
um,
recording.
okay, good. Do you have, so you're the president, do you have a person that you report to, or they guide you as you create, as you decide on projects?
I find that since we are still starting out as an Action Club, I do lean on our advisors, Mike Toomey from Northwest Kiwanis and Craig Smith from Northwest Kiwanis.
Mhm.
And I'm working to be more independent in my decision making and not doubt myself as much.
Yeah.
And we as myself as president of Action Club and Mike Toomey as our official advisor from Northwest Kiwanis, we have to make a monthly report of how many hours of service projects did we do? Did we do any social events as an Action Club? How much money did we raise in fundraising? Can you describe the fundraiser? How much money did you raise in the month of October, for example? We're finishing up our monthly report for October. And
So
these
are you responsible for that monthly report, Amy?
partly me, partly Mike. I give Mike the information, as much information as I can give. I write a lot of stuff down,
Mhm.
and he submits the actual report. And we work together on that. For example, I didn't know if the Northwest Kiwanis spent money. Like, I didn't know who spent money on a tablet that our secretary, Michael Hurt, uses to take notes via some sort of Zoom AI function. I don't know how that works, but
Mhm.
I'm like, who paid for that? And so Mike and a social worker who works with Michael were able to fill in those blanks for me.
Mhm.
Yep, so we all work together to complete the report, and then it gets submitted to Kiwanis International, and it's good to stay on top of it.
Mhm.
It helps affect I get would they be called rankings, Dick? Like, I know we could potentially get like a distinguished Action Club, some kind of award for that, or
Actually, the distinguished or honorable action clubs are determined at the end of the year when you do the annual report, which the advisors do.
okay, good to know.
Yeah. So what was your favorite service project so far?
It was the previous Action Club year, which an Action Club year runs from October to October, so we're about a month and a few days into our current year. So it was, let me see. So we were assisting a service project group called the Tri-Village Packers. They pack food bags consisting of breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 3 or 4 snacks for children who qualify for free or reduced price lunch in the Tri-Village area. This food is meant to last the children through spring break, and they do Thanksgiving break as well. My favorite service project was when Tri-Village Action Club packed the drinks that would go into the food bags.
Mhm.
It's a lot of logistics.
Yeah. I imagine it's kind of fun working alongside someone because you're kind of learning together.
Yeah.
And um, I mean, teamwork is everything. And I just love the idea that you guys are filling in the gap. That's a much needed thing for the kids in our community. So that's a job well done. So let me see, make sure I got all my questions I wanted to ask you. Um, how do you come about forming a new project? How do you come to that decision?
Good question. Um, you see, a lot of the members have their own interests and service projects they want to pitch to the rest of the club. And what I do is I say, I'm going to give you some homework. Uh, I want you to go out, do your research. If you have access to the internet or any type of device, look up nonprofits that are related to the cause that you want to support. Report back to me. What did you find? What do you have a nonprofit that you think we should, reach out to? And then just build from there. Like, who do we reach out to? Are they local? Are they international? Are they
Mhm.
out of state? We recently donated money from a fundraiser to the Red Cross for their Hurricane Helene and Milton relief. That was not in Ohio, but it's a
Mhm.
big need.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know you have Samantha here. Samantha, would you be willing to share your experience as an Action Club member?
I just recently joined this year at the beginning of the year. So I'm kind of new to this, but I'm enjoying what I'm learning. And I'm also learning that Amy gave me homework for my research project that I wanted to try to get the team to do. So I'm finding out different things about my research project that I didn't really know about.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun doing things along with Amy and the rest of the Action Club.
Anytime we try to do something new, it's kind of scary sometimes. Um, am I doing this right or just the right fit? It sounds like having that opportunity to speak into a group of people that you don't know well, that's a challenge too. But it sounds like you took the baton and ran with it, um, thinking of an idea that you have. Can you share that idea you're interested in?
It's for the homeless people. I think I'm very passionate about the homeless people because I'm a family member of a veteran. So when I see veterans out on the street that say they're hungry and homeless, and then also other people that are hungry and homeless that have kids, it pulls at my heartstrings.
Hmm. Yes.
So
Uh,
I'm like, what can I give you? What can I do? How can I help you? And some of them go, all we need is some food, or we need hats, clothes, and stuff for the winter.
yep.
Some are just grateful for hats, clothes, and socks.
Oh, socks are a big thing,
Yeah.
huge thing. Um, I really like the idea of the birthday bag I know that my churches has two food pantries, and I know that they, when they know someone is coming that has a birthday coming up, they intentionally either buy one of those big cupcakes with a candle and that kind of thing. So it's something that people don't expect when they go to a food pantry, and I love the idea of making it a kit of it so that they can make it themselves, and putting the pans in there too, because people lose their apartments. They don't have the tools necessarily to do that. So I think that's really a cool idea. Um, Samantha, um, how did you hear about Action Club?
Basically through Gretchen and Jessica through Open Door. I'm not affiliated with Open Door besides the art studio program, so I got affiliated with Action Club through Jessica, Bond, and Gretchen.
Yeah. So I'm sure Amy does a great job leading the group.
He does a fantastic job.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you, Sam. That means a lot to me.
it does.
Sam, there is an action club not too far from Cleveland. They collect hats, scarves, mittens, and socks. And what they end up doing is figuring out where large groups of homeless people are hanging out. And what they do is tie the items of clothing to a chain link fence with a note attached for them to, if they need a hat, if they need socks, if they need anything, they can just take it off the fence and it's theirs.
I know Faith Missions also gives people stuff because I looked up Faith Missions too.
Mm,
I love these ideas. And and anyone can do them.
right.
It's not like you have to learn technology to be a part of the group, right? So are you seeing, Amy, some of the members, might have tech knowledge or, um,
It really depends on the member. Sam, remember you are extremely tech savvy in my opinion.
I'm not extremely tech savvy. I just have good support system.
there you go.
You're very lucky.
I
I
had
mean
to
that
get a new
sincere.
phone for that purpose, so they didn't know how to work an Android, so I was like, I'll work my butt off to get an Apple phone, so you guys can teach me how to use an Apple phone. And I'm like, I'm not changing back to Android no time soon.
Yeah.
So I think one thing is a decent amount of our members are older as well. So
Okay.
I know Harvey Wolf and Ron Ramage are in their early 70s and late 60s respectively. So technology what is that it'd be extremely difficult for them to catch up to where someone who grew up using computers and later smartphones would be. Um, a lot of our members also live in group homes and might not have access to their own email addresses.
Mhm.
They would rely on a group home staff to be checking their group home's email account, which
Mhm.
it can be hit
Complicated.
or miss depending on the staff that's there on any given day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, a question that you and we all know the answer is transportation always an issue?
Sometimes, sometimes I
Uh,
can answer that one.
mhm.
Sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. The last meeting it was tricky because of the email and the group home and all that. I didn't get at a lot of RSVPs, so I tend to assume if I don't get a lot of RSVPs, they're probably not coming to the meeting or can't make it because of transportation issues. So
Mhm.
we get the people who come on time. We start the meeting, and then 20 minutes later, we get a flood of people. I'm like, oh. I mean, I was happy to see them. It's
Yeah.
just Yeah, so in the future we'll probably just socialize for the first 30 minutes because our meetings are typically about 2 hours, and
Mhm.
just to give people time to come if say they hit traffic or staff are not taking them out in a timely manner.
So a question I have, I know you and I talked, Amy, and you said that you give people about a half hour just to settle down and kind of get talking to each other, getting updated. Um, are you always working on a service project, or what are some other things we do when you get together?
Um, about a good chunk of the actual meeting is planning future service projects, fundraisers. A lot of our previous meetings in the year was planning our charter party to celebrate our becoming an official charter, and the fundraiser that went with that charter party, which
Mhm.
was a silent auction.
And Deborah, a lot of our clubs have programs like they do at Kiwanis, have speakers come in.
Okay.
And that, in some cases, will generate service projects because they'll like
Sure.
what the speaker has shared with them, and they'll always share their needs.
Yeah, absolutely. I know my mind's thinking of different things to do, because there's always a lot to do. Um, I mean, do you guys get together and go to a movie? I mean, we got Wicked coming.
Yeah.
That's something I would like to look into. We attempted a get together. It was pretty early in the morning. It was a bird watching event with Bird Ability, which trying to create more physically accessible uh, bird watching, and just nature event activities in general that are
Mhm.
wheelchair friendly, just accessible to people with disabilities in general.
Mhm.
We also
So
have the perk thingy that we're doing too that they want us to try to do, but they said not all of us have to come that have mobility issues.
Mhm.
yeah, we'll be assisting. I mean, the Northwest Kiwanis with cleaning up invasive plants out of the Northwest Kiwanis Park.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I like the idea that you work together with a Kiwanis and maybe other organizations, like a joint project. I think um, that's great as far as learning how to be mentored or be a mentor. Um, I think I really like that idea that you have a group support, because I think sometimes a project can be overwhelming, but if you know you have enough people to do it, it makes it more fun and not so frustrating. Yeah.
Deborah, a lot of our sponsoring Kiwanis clubs, besides sponsoring Action Club, will sponsor a Key Club or a Circle K.
Okay.
So a lot of times, if they do sponsor one of those groups, they'll all three or four of them will work together.
That's wonderful. Um, okay, so is there anything else that I forgot to ask you, Amy? I know we talked a lot about things. Um,
I might throw out, Deborah, that I give a challenge project every year
okay.
so that I can have a whole bunch of clubs doing the same project if they decide to do it. This
Hmm.
year's theme is kindness,
Hmm.
and I'm encouraging action clubs to work with their individual members to do individual random acts of kindness
Hmm.
and to come up with a group, an action club group project. For
Hmm.
instance, what I'm suggesting is that they find a retirement center nearby and find out if they would be interested in the action club putting on a root beer float night.
Ooh.
And what I have found is that members of an action of a residential retirement center will, if they have access to root beer floats, you'll hear all sorts of stories about them growing up and sitting,
Hmm.
remembering sitting on a porch in the summertime with their root beer floats.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the projects I am suggesting for them to do, or to do placemats for retirement center. Find out how many people there are there. And for instance, if they had 80 residents, do 80 different placemats and have the members decorate them with happy birthday pictures
Mm-hmm.
and greetings. And so that the people in the dining room have the whole supply. And if somebody has a birthday a certain day, they set their place with one of these special birthday placemats.
That's very fun. I remember taking a group to my Sunday school class. I have teens, adults with developmental disabilities, and we used to go Christmas caroling together every year at a place south of Columbus that houses young children and other people with severe disabilities. And for the name is escaping me of the name of the place, but it was really cool because we had people with disabilities singing Christmas carols with other people with disabilities. And it was really a lot of fun. We'd wear the ears and the bells, and we made a joyful noise.
Yeah. Our Kiwanis Club rings Salvation Army bells every year, and we have Action Club members join us. And
That's
the fun
great.
thing about that is because the people coming out of the grocery store tend to give us more money whenever we have an Action Club member there with us.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No tripping them, right? Not tripping
Right.
them on the way out.
Yeah. Well, I always tell Josh, who works with me every year, that he knows more people. He's more popular than I am
Mhm.
because they all come up to Josh. They've seen him around town because he's a past president of our Action Club group.
Mhm. All right, let me see what I have left here for us to cover. See if it's gonna let me.
I think probably just
Okay.
asking questions.
Um, So where is the Action Club nearest to me? Um, on the next slide, I do have specific information for Amy's group. But so are these all the different clubs that you oversee, Dick?
These are some of the ones in the central Ohio area. We have actually not a whole lot of clubs. As big as Franklin County is, Tri-Village is the only one for Franklin County. We have one in Delaware County. I have been trying to get the Westerville Kiwanis Club to sponsor an action club, and we haven't been able to successfully get one started yet. Licking County has a very active club that is sponsored by 3 Kiwanis clubs. They get to do all sorts of things. Knox County is nearby, but we didn't list it on this one. But Knox County has 4 meetings a month.
Mm.
They have a business meeting. Then one Tuesday a month, they meet at the local movie theater for anybody from the club who wants to take in a movie. And they have a special arrangement with the movie theater for like a $5 ticket that gets them a bag of popcorn or drink and admission to the movie.
That's amazing.
Then another week they have a book club, and so they all share reading books and sharing information about the books that they pick. They pick their own books, and they actually do round robin and read together as a group and discuss the book. And then they have one meeting a month where maybe for 3 months they will do a theme like cooking or camera picture taking on their phones.
Mhm.
So they'll do that. And that they'll ask them what types of things do you want to learn more about? And that will give them their 3 month work of worth of doing projects and finding out about stuff.
So I have a question. Um, who Is it only Kiwanis members that can start an action club?
You have to have two things. Number one, you have to have a group typically that would service a facility. For instance, that's why a lot of our action clubs are organized at a board of DD or an independent provider. But we also have some in Ohio. I have one action club that actually is hosted at a donut shop because all the employees have disabilities. I'm working with a group in the Cincinnati area that would be hosted by a group that is an art studio. And then, of course, we're the only district that has the Tri-Village Club, which is organized around two city rec programs.
Mhm, mhm.
But once you have a group, and sometimes it's the Kiwanis Club going to a group and asking if they would like to have an action club. But I've also had groups like the donut shop approaching Kiwanis and saying, "Hey, we've heard about Action Club. Would you be willing to work with us to start an action club in our town?"
Mhm,
So yeah, typically there is an action club that's going to be associated with an action,
mhm,
a Kiwanis club that's going to be associated with an action club. As a
mhm.
matter of fact, after last week, I am working to actually start the first international internet action club. So it would be totally online. It would be focused more on getting individuals to go out and find others in their community that might help them do projects. So it's not a typical, it's not like you have 15 to 30 people in an action club, but you have one person in a city or town that's interested in doing projects, and they find others to do projects with them. And I'm hoping that maybe that might lead to forming official action clubs in that city with a Kiwanis club. So yeah, this would be the first international service leadership program of any of ours, Key Club or Circle K or anything like that. So this is a new project.
Pretty exciting.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it takes skill to even come up with an idea and then to go out there to find people that are also interested in that. And usually when you do it alone, usually the result is it doesn't happen.
Right,
And so to
right.
have people come alongside, share that vision, even if it's just for a short time. Um,
Actually, the group that I was doing programs for, a lot of people said, "Well, where's my nearest action club?" And unfortunately, they were asking me about places like Kentucky and Tennessee, and I didn't know how close the action clubs. There are action clubs in Kentucky and Tennessee, but I don't know exactly how close they are to where that person or those people were living. And I was able to connect several people in Ohio with present action clubs because of this program that we did online with We Thrive together.
Let me go to the next slide. And of course, this is contacting Dick
Yep.
for more information. And I can make this PowerPoint available to anybody who wants it.
Super. And two, you were talking about other transition programs. I am more than happy, Deborah, to go out and do a program for any group that might be involved in the transition program.
Yeah, I know with being a Chart of the Life Course ambassador, um, it was a big deal to get connected with Columbus City Schools. And so I think even the members of the Action Club would benefit from learning some of the tools. I mean, I'm willing to come and share, Amy, some of those tools with your group because it's all about encouraging communication with each other and um, goal setting. We all have goals that we want in life. And sometimes if we don't write it down or speak it out loud, then it doesn't happen.
Right.
So I'm going to take down this share screen, and this, yes, it was recording. Great. I will be editing this, and I will send you guys the link of the this conversation that we had.
Super.
And
Thank you.
hopefully, maybe I can get it done tomorrow. And I really appreciate your sharing your experiences, and Dick, your faithfulness in keeping this going with your energy that you have. And Amy, you are an awesome woman. I look forward to possibly connecting with you.
And
whether
I'll
it be-
tell you, without Amy, I don't know if this tri-village would have gotten off the ground. She was the instigator of a lot of this.
I
She
believe
worked really hard to
Mhm.
get this up and running.
That's awesome. So you'll be used in the future to empower someone else to start their own, Amy. That's a gift. A gift to have that
Thank you.
experience and then share it, like paying it forward, right?
Mhm.
And Samantha, I look forward to see how you're going to get connected with Tri-County and what service project you come up with. And I did remember one question for you, Amy. Do the people have to come from those areas to be a part of your action club?
So on our official charter and our charter application, we put that we would serve pretty much the whole central Ohio area, but we try to keep it in Franklin County. So
Right.
to be honest, we have as of today, we don't really have anyone from the actual Tri-Village area as a member, board
Interesting.
member, or officer.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, right now
Yeah.
all of our members are from Open Door Columbus in one form or another. Sam, you're from the art studio branch
Mhm.
or the
Yeah,
art studio.
typically an action club takes in anybody from their their home county.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I don't want anyone to say, "Hey, I'm interested, but I live in Grove City." You know,
I live in Grove
Transport-
City and I
but transportation would be the issue for
Yeah.
anyone,
yeah.
but that's always a challenge. But so when you have someone that's coming maybe with a provider or family member, do they get involved, or do they just kind of go to a
I can
coffee shop?
answer that one because my provider comes with me.
Yeah.
I got my provider involved last time with this.
Did she like it?
They both liked it.
They both liked it. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, we encourage the providers, whoever brings members to the meetings. We encourage them to stay. I mean, they don't have to. I mean, unless there's a thing with alone time, like they can't be left alone in the community because none of the advisors are trained in that way.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, we
And-
encourage them to stay for the meeting.
And every club is different.
Yeah.
Everyone is unique.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have some clubs that are 100% self-advocates. I have some that are 50-50.
Mhm.
And I have some clubs that have basically no self-advocates at all. So in a case like that, when there's a caregiver or family member, they usually help. Let's say, typically I will have a secretary who needs assistance, so their caregiver or family member helps them fulfill their responsibilities as secretary.
Mhm. Yeah, it's all teamwork.
Mhm.
It's
Yes.
how we, the world says do it yourself, but there's more fun when you're doing it with people.
That's how I found out through Faith Missions because I looked at my team member and said, "Hey, could you look up Faith Missions and see if they give homeless shelter boxes and stuff?" He goes, "Yes, but they also have a list of what they're in desperate need of right now." So she goes, "I'll get you the link and stuff, and you'll be able to email it to Tri-Village people if you want to try to do that." So I'm still waiting for her to send me the link. So since she forgot last week, I think I'll remind her tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Samantha, once you get that list, share it with Northwest Kiwanis Club, because
Okay.
I'm having a lot of my action clubs start a project and they look like the birthday in the bag. They contacted our Kiwanis Club to help gather boxes of cake mix or frosting or something like that.
Mhm.
So it isn't just the action club that's helping on the project. It's the Kiwanis Club too, or the Circle K or the Key Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can give you Craig and Mike's emails too, Sam.
Okay. Thank you, because I know Craig wanted the thing about that thing that I did at Sandusky, so I don't know if you guys talked to Andrew or not, but he was looking forward to talking to y'all. I think I gave you the right email for you
You
two to
did.
contact him.
I've just
But
been, I've hit a wall.
he was telling me to let you guys contact him and ask your questions.
All
Because
right.
I basically emailed him and he goes, I'm looking forward to hearing from your action club.
Oh, I'm glad.
Good.
Well, we should have a follow-up on what project you did and the results of it. And always take photos, because photos say everything. If you don't take a
Oh,
Yeah.
photo,
definitely.
it doesn't look like it happened. But so I appreciate the four of you or the three of you being part of this. An interesting group. To me, I love the idea of, Dick, what you're talking about with Dayton going with younger people, because a lot of how folks that are younger, they don't have the skills, or maybe because of their disability prevents them from going the traditional route of, work or,
Right.
post-secondary. And, I think the transition coordinators will love this idea, because
Or
it's
some of them
encouraged
are too
volunteerism.
scared to work.
What was that?
Or some of them are too scared to work like I was at first. I was too
Yeah.
scared to work, and I rather have volunteered somewhere if I was able to, but they put me straight in the workforce and I got fired within a year's time because I was so nervous. My boss was like, you're
Oh,
a good
yeah.
worker, but I noticed you were nervous the whole time. So he goes,
Yeah.
we have to let you go because of that. But
Oh.
he calmed my nerves about it a little bit, but I was like, I still don't want to work, but I'm like, once I got used to it, after I went to a sheltered workshop and got used to it, I kind of figured you kind of need to do this.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why volunteering helps get you over some of the nerves.
Yes. Yep. They can't fire you from volunteering.
No.
I mean, they may ask you to leave, but but and you also want to serve with places that honor all people. And if they can't treat volunteers well, then they're going to lose their volunteers. So anyway, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and
And
I hope
thank you
to
for
meet you
giving us
guys
this
soon.
opportunity, Deborah.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Deborah.
Yeah, practice always helps, doesn't it? And I'm not going to let you guys go, so we'll be connected.
Oh, definitely.
All right, thank
I
you
will
so
reach
much.
out and see about you coming to speak at a Action Club meeting in the new year.
Yeah, I mean,
once
I could
we're-
probably do what I do in maybe 45 minutes. Keeping it simple and to the point, and I look forward to it.
Yeah,
All right, take care. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you.
thank you. I'll get those emails to you, Samantha. Sam.
All right.
Bye.